Hi guys. So this video is a response to videos by Smirky and Samri and maybe other content creators who showcased instant monster smoke lineups from all of the 16 CT spawn points on Overpass. What these spawn points allow is for the CTs to throw a monster smoke as soon as the timer starts and then go do whatever they want. This is very similar to other maps such as Ancient, where Ts use instant house smokes and then they can throw other nades or do their default, and Mirage, where Ts throw instant sniper's nest smokes, which allows them to rush mid faster and take more space from the CTs early on. I'm going to make a case for how that doesn't apply at all on Overpass, and learning these smokes is useless. I'm not trying to attack any of these content creators, I'm just trying to present my thoughts in this video. So normally in Team CS what happens is that the third B player, or the B Rotator, is going to come here and smoke Monster at the start of the round, and then he can go do whatever he wants. Usually it is supporting towards B, but it can also be playing towards A. Knowing these in the 16 instant spawn smoke allows the Rotator to throw that smoke and instantly go wherever he wants to, especially if he wants to play aggressive towards A. I'm going to argue that the only strat these instant smoke benefits when playing aggressive towards A is if you Molotov first, if you Molotov playground, and the B Rotator rushes long. By throwing the instant smoke, the B Rotator can rush long off of his spawn, where if he threw the smoke with the lineup, he is further away from long, so he can't rush it. That doesn't mean the B Rotator can't play long, it just means he can't play super aggressive. He can still play passive wherever he wants. Meanwhile, the two A players, since their spawns are completely unaffected, can still throw the default Molotovs and do whatever aggression they want. The B players with this strat can also play however aggressive they want. They can play aggressive towards water, they can play aggressive towards monster, or they can split up. Now doing this comes at the cost of the smoke, first of all, not being consistent in where it lands, and also being very early in landing. I'm going to argue that this strat is something you can easily do without knowing these smokes. So one thing you can do is you can just have your Rotator throw the smoke and then just play passive towards long instead of hyper aggressive. However, if you want that player to play hyper aggressive towards long, what you can instead have is your monster player come and throw the monster smoke on his own. Now the only problem with this is now the monster player can't rush monster because he got delayed in throwing the monster smoke. So does that mean you can't play aggressive at all anymore? I would say no, because you still can. Here I'm going to showcase spawn 6, which is the most aggressive spawn for CTs, and I'm going to show you the timing at which the CTs can land the short tunnel Molotov. So for that, I'm going to use the countdown on practice mode. With the best spawn, first I'm going to go towards the short path, and I'm going to throw the standard Molotov for short tunnel. That lands at 146 round time. However, if I go through monster, I can still make it land at the same time. I just need to know the lineup. So I come up here, monster. I'm going to aim there and just walk through it. The Molotov still lands at 146. And now I'm at monster, so I can jump out and I can rush towards monster. So I can still do my B default and play aggressive towards monster as the second B player while the monster player smokes. Now, one other disadvantage of the instant smoke lineups is that they land way too fast, which means that they dissipate faster than the standard monster smoke does. So what this means is that if the Ts are waiting to do a monster pop, they are able to do their exec way earlier in the round compared to when you would. And this can impact your A aggression, because your A aggression, which may have had the 3-second benefit of maybe sniping a T rotate, no longer applies because the smoke just faded too early. Furthermore, the smokes aren't consistent in where they land. Some of the smokes actually land inside monster tunnel, and something that the B player on the T side can just read is that smoke landed inside monster tunnel and just communicate it with his teammates that they threw a bad monster smoke, so maybe it will fade early, or just make a good read that, hey, they threw that monster smoke, so they're playing aggressive towards A. So I would say that the instant monster smokes are already a bad tell. The last thing that I'll talk about is good team fundamentals and learning to play passive on certain parts of the map. If your teammates are playing aggressive towards A, you should be playing passive towards B, so that if they do an execute on B, you don't get pressured because you don't have a good setup, and you can just play for a retake because of all the other map control you have and all the rotates that are available to you. It's more important as B players to know how to play passive rather than getting a weird smoke thrown and then playing aggressive with having no support behind you. Say you're a solo monster player where you have a smoke thrown instantly here and you throw a Molotov for a short tunnel and you're trying to defend B on your own while the rest of your team are playing A. If you die right now, the round is lost. Whereas if you know how to play passive while still making it look like there are a lot of people on B site, then if the T's execute B, you can contain them on site and you can just set up for a retake. Whereas if you die, the T's can also pick up your utility and then just have a stronger post plant for them. So hopefully in this video, I've explained why you don't need to know these 16 spawn lineups, and instead you should just probably work on your team's default nades and some aggression and some rotations. And please don't be daunted by needing to learn instant spawn smokes. Cheers.